Unemployment is pretty devastating for a government if you see it in large numbers. During our Great Depression, we had around 25% unemployed, 50% among minorities. And it's just a crushing blow to government for a lot of reasons. And we'll outline those reasons here. And we'll look at it in terms of the Roman government. So if you remember at the end of the Republic, we talked about how when soldiers came home, who they were normally farmers, but when they came home as soldiers, they found that their farms had been taken or destroyed. And a lot of the wealthy Romans were buying up those farms without the people even getting the money. What's the word? Replacing these former farmers with slaves, people that had been conquered in the previous war. And so these farmers go back home, their farm's gone, and the slaves are taking their jobs. And so they're unemployed. Or because their neighbor who's a farmer has slaves, he can make things cheaper. So their farms, they can't compete. Either way, it leads to large numbers of people being homeless and poor and unemployed. The unemployed, they thought there was around 100,000 unemployed people in the Roman Empire, in Rome itself, which is terrible. But unemployment hurts in two ways. Number one, you don't have tax revenue. Unemployed people don't bring in taxes, and taxes are the income of a government. And so you have 100,000 people walking around, they bring in absolutely no money. That hurts you as a government. But number two, they cost money. In this situation, they were worried about rebellion. They were worried about protests. And these are people who have been former soldiers. They don't want them to get violent. And so now, not only do you not get tax money from them as a government, but you're paying out massive amounts of money to provide food, entertainment. And so you go from having a system where they're working and they're paying in taxes to there's no jobs and you're paying for them to eat. And a government can only do that so long. And I think that's a big thing we see with the Roman government is that there's only so long they could feed the unemployed. And that took a lot of their money away. And what does that money taken away from? It's taken away from your military. It's taken away from your, keeping your buildings in good shape. It's taking away from all these things. And that leads to pretty big problems when you have that many people who are unemployed and you just simply do not have jobs available for them. Big problem. One I hope we don't see in that size.